You already know what I'm about to say. You felt it. When you were 7 years old, a single summer lasted forever. June to August was an eternity. You could live 3 lifetimes between breakfast and dinner. Every day had weight. Every afternoon stretched out like it would never end. Now you blink and it's March. You blink again. Somehow it's October. You look back at the last 5 years and they feel like one long Tuesday. You're not imagining this. I need you to hear that clearly because most people treat this like some sentimental quirk. Oh, time flies when you're older. That's just how it goes. No, stop. That's not an explanation. That's a greeting card. Something is actually happening inside your skull, something measurable, something physical, something that changes how your brain constructs the experience of duration. And it's not what you think. It's not nostalgia making childhood seem longer in hindsight. It's not that you were happier then and sadder now. It's not some poetic thing about innocence. The machinery that builds your sense of time is running differently than it did when you were a kid, literally differently. The architecture has changed. The processing has changed. The rate at which your brain samples and encodes reality has changed. And the result is exactly what you feel. The years compressing, the months blurring together, entire seasons vanishing into a haze of routine that you can barely distinguish from the season before it. Most people never question this. They just accept it. Time speeds up as you age. That's life. But that's like saying things fall down. Sure, things fall down, but why? The right question, asked seriously, changes everything. So I'm going to ask the question seriously. Why does time speed up as you age? And I'm going to give you the real answer, not the comfortable one, the one that changes how you understand your own consciousness. And once you see it, you will never experience a lazy afternoon the same way again. Now here's where most people go wrong. They ask, why does time feel faster? Sounds reasonable. It's not. That question assumes time is flowing at a constant rate and your perception is drifting away from it. But you don't have access to real time. You never did. There's no metronome in your brain keeping objective time. What you call your experience of time is constructed, built from raw materials. And those raw materials are information. Every sight, sound, sensation, thought, and micro-decision your brain processes. That's what time is made of for you. Your brain stitches it into a sequence. This happened, then this, then this. The density of that sequence determines whether a period feels long or short. When there's a lot of new information, the sequence is dense. It feels long, rich, full. When there's very little new data, when your brain is on autopilot, the sequence is sparse. It feels short, thin, empty. So the real question is, why is your brain processing less information per unit of real time than it used to? You're not experiencing time wrong. You're sampling reality at a lower rate. Your brain is not a clock. It's an information processor that generates the illusion of time as a side effect. And the rate of that processing changes across your life. When you're young, everything is new. Your brain processes everything. Every detail gets encoded. A single afternoon contains massive amounts of data, so it feels long. As you age, your brain becomes efficient. It recognizes patterns, it filters, it skips, it compresses. The same commute, the same conversations, the same routines. Your brain stops recording them in detail. Not because it's failing, but because it's optimized. And that efficiency is what makes time feel like it's disappearing. Think of your brain like a camera. When you're young, it's shooting at a very high frame rate, capturing everything in detail. When you replay those memories, they feel long because they contain so many frames. As an adult, the frame rate drops. Your brain captures fewer details because most things are familiar. When you look back, there's less footage, so it feels shorter. Same real time, fewer frames. That's why weeks vanish. That's why months blur. That's why years feel compressed. The missing time isn't lost, it's just never recorded. But here's the important part. You can change this. If the problem is reduced information processing, the solution is simple. Force your brain to process new information. Travel somewhere unfamiliar. Learn something difficult. Break your routines. Do things that make you uncomfortable or confused. Novelty forces your brain to work harder. It increases information density. It raises your internal frame rate. And when that happens, time stretches again. A week in a new environment can feel longer than a month at home. Hours spent learning something new can feel richer than days spent on autopilot. You can't slow objective time, but you can increase how much of it you actually experience. A life filled with routine feels short, not because it is short, but because so little of it gets recorded. A life filled with novelty, challenge, and learning feels long, because it is dense with experience. The universe gives you a fixed number of years, but how much life you extract from those years depends on how your brain processes them. So the next time a month disappears and you don't know where it went, don't blame time. Time didn't speed up. Your brain stopped paying attention. And the only person who can change that is you. If you want to learn more, subscribe to the channel.